Good YouTube, time to change the oil on my 2020 2500 HD. So we're gonna get into the right attire because right now I just got back from shopping and I need to change clothes into the right outfit so I don't get my stuff dirty. I like this shirt. Shout out to SB Ball, man. We had a great weekend. Cleaned up some yards, man, but we're gonna do the oil change. Let me know in the comment section what truck do y'all use for your work. I have an LB7 2004, and then I have the 2020. So let's get into the right attire and let's change the oil. Y'all ready? There it is, just like that, man. Now we're suited up and now it's time to do the oil change. Y'all ready? Let's do it. What you want to do first is run the engine, crank it up, let it run for a few minutes so it warms up so you can get the oil warmed up so it just drains a lot easier. But I just got back so I don't have to, but just wanted to make sure I included that step so you know. So let's pop the hood. But I'm just gonna pop the hood. Now we're under the hood. There's the oil dipstick to check the oil level. Right there's the oil cap. You're gonna twist that off and set it to the side. Don't lose that because that's where you're gonna fill the oil when you have drained and changed the oil filter. But I take the cap off so it helps with the draining process underneath. So let's go ahead and take the cap off and lift the oil stick up like this. So take that, set it to the side. I set mine right there. Just pop this up so when I drain it, ventilation. And while you're already up here, it's a good time to check your coolant and everything else while you're underneath here. So let's go underneath the truck. All right, now we're underneath the truck. So right here is the oil bolt that you will need to take off to drain the oil. And right here is your oil filter. I'm going with a Wix one, but this is a Motorcraft or no, AC Delco, which is normal for a Chevy. But so I'm gonna take this lefty loosey and have my oil pan right here, and we're gonna drain the oil. So stay tuned. So what I'm gonna do, oil drain, walk around to the other side, and the oil bolt is a 15, guys. So I'm gonna take my ratchet, kind of just put it there and just kind of tap it. Like old Happy Gilmore, just tap it in. Don't take a lot, guys. You don't want to strip nothing, break nothing. And you're just gonna set your oil pan where it needs to be and slowly take this out, catch the oil. Now, if you wanted to, you could have placed like a board or whatever, old carpet underneath this so you don't get your stuff dirty. But guys, I do this all the time, so I'm not stressing no clean, pretty driveway. So let that drain, and once you let that drain, we'll go to the next step and just letting it fully drain, and I will put the bolt back in and tighten it. You don't have to snug it up too crazy. You just want it a little tight, and then we'll switch positions up here so you can see how I removed the oil filter. So while that's finished draining, it on this model, it also has the star head, but I wouldn't recommend it. Just grab a 15mm wrench or a socket and take it off. So you want to hand screw it in all the way until it stops. You don't want to use any kind of impacts or anything like that. Just simply screw it in by hand so you don't cross thread anything. Take the socket. I got it snug. Now I'm just gonna, like I did, tap it a couple times and that's it, man. I'm not snugging it up too crazy. Don't want to make it where it's aggravating to get out. And now we're gonna move over to this side and do the oil filter. All right, so now I'm gonna grab my oil filter wrench. I use these types. They do have the ones that go on the end and you use a ratchet, or a ratchet. But there's the part number for my model that I use with the Wix filter, WL10454. But I'm gonna take this, and it's the same concept with everything else, lefty loosey. So I'm gonna just stick it on, and then I'm gonna go that way, and I'm gonna just get it twisted. That's all I want to start doing, getting it turning. Just want to lefty loosey, nothing to it. And before I go too far, I'm gonna slide my oil pan in the same area where the oil is gonna drain. And when you get to a certain point, it's gonna start leaking from here and roll down the filter. And I let it do that until I think it's full, most of the way drained. And then I kind of maneuver it to get it off where it doesn't make too much of a mess. Like I said, if you had a board or something under here or a big old carpet, so like this right here, see how it goes? Let it drain. Hopefully you're Steph Curry with the oil and you're one shot, nothing but net. I'm gonna let this drain, then we'll move to the next part. It's most of the way drained, so the way I'm gonna do this is slowly take this down. It's gonna spill a little bit, and we just kind of keep pressure against it so it doesn't just drop until it's all the way down. And I kind of slowly lift and it kind of tool down like that. Got a little bit, but nothing crazy, bro. I will take that as a W. Take that oil that got on your finger and put it on the seal on the oil filter gasket with a rag or whatever, but I don't have a rag on my hand. I should have had one. Simply just place it on the threads, and you want to make sure you want to screw this on by hand so you don't cross thread anything. So I'm gonna do it by hand to snug right there, and I'm gonna grab that oil filter wrench and reverse, and just a couple snugs. That's it. That's all you need, bro. You have just changed the oil filter and the oil. So this is the time you take brake clean or whatever you got, some rags, and wipe down everything so it keeps it clean, and just wipe everything down. And now we're gonna go to the top of the hood. All right, guys, so the oil I'm putting in the truck today is the Rotella. It's the T4. They didn't have the T6. I usually run that. Just to prove how tall my truck is, I had to step on a chair just to get up here so I can show y'all. But this is what we're using. The 2020 Chevrolet, the L5P 8-cylinder is 10 quarts of motor oil. So 2.5 gallons is 10 quarts. So what I'm gonna do is pour the whole 2.5 gallons of oil into the engine, and then I will check with the dipstick, crank up the engine, let it run, let it circulate, and then I will check again and top off as needed. So let's get to pouring the oil in. All right, so I got my funnel that I have cut to shorten for this particular thing. Some would remove that, but I'm not. So I'm gonna grab the oil. Grab the oil, take the cap off, set it to the side, take the foil out, turn sideways, and slowly start to pour in here. Let it go down. I'm gonna repeat this until I poured the whole 2.5 gallons, which is 10 quarts. Just slowly pour it in, don't go crazy. So guys, man, do y'all like to do your own maintenance? If you don't, tell me why. If you do, tell me why you like them. Let me know in the comments. Make sure you're hitting that follow button, subscribe, like this video, man, if you got anything from it. All right, we just poured all 10 quarts in. I'm gonna put the cap on this because I'm gonna reuse this to pour the used oil in. Make sure you disposing your motor oil at your local hardware store, like O'Reilly's, Advance, whoever you use. Gonna just wipe that off, pour out just to double check. We are good. So now what I'm gonna do is remove this funnel, catch right here so I don't get any spillage anywhere. Take this down, stick it in, and make sure that's tight. Now I'm gonna fire the engine up, let it run for a few, and then I'll cut the engine off, and then I will come back and check the level. All right, after I've let it run for a few minutes, now I'm gonna pull the dipstick out, wipe it off, and I'm gonna reinsert it into the oil tube. Sit for a minute, flip it up, and as you can see, we're on the money. So now I'm gonna put that in, and this is when I would like just wipe off everything into the engine, blow it out, make sure, double check my my air ram air filter that I have over there from Banks cold air intake system, and now I'm just gonna make sure everything's tightened up, make sure ain't nothing leaking underneath the truck, and double check everything, and then we'll get back to it. So there you have it, guys. That's how you change the oil on a 2020 L5P 66 Duramax 2500. So if you found this video informational or any helpful, smash that like button, man. It helps more than you know. And if you like this content, make sure you're following the channel, smash the subscribe button, and We're going to bring more content like this. We got the podcast coming. Y'all just stay tuned, man. Thank you for the love and support. Y'all know what time it is. All you got to do is grow it. We'll mow it.